Hey everyone, so I'm here to talk to you about how so many people are always trying to impress other people with material things, whether it's watches, jewelry, clothing, cars, whatever. So my whole thing is stop trying to impress these people. You only want to buy what you need, not what you want, if you want a bright future. First of all, you have to think about who are you trying to impress when you are impressing people. How many friends do you actually have that you interact with in person? Maybe 40? And why do you need to impress these 40 people out of 7 billion on this planet? What does it do for you? I mean, really, what does it do for you? If you are feeling any kind of pressure from these people that you should live up to their standards and impress them with this or that, then they're not your friends. Say goodbye to them. You're always going to be spinning, if you're always living beyond your means, you're always going to be spinning your wheels and you're never going to get anywhere in life. You're not going to have a good future. Then it brings me to social media. Do you have 1,000 followers on Facebook and Instagram that you're trying to impress? What does it matter what they think when you post stuff? Look at my new watch, look at this, look at that. You're never going to see 95% of these people in person, so what do you get out of this, other than that you're ruining your future? I mean, how often do you see them in person? If this is what you're using social media for, I would just recommend delete your accounts, because your life would be so much better off. The pressure will be off from trying to impress people, and then you can do what's right, live below your means so you have a good future. What would you prefer? Being able to post photos today of your luxury Kardashian-like lifestyle, or sacrificing today so tomorrow you can post photos of your travels around the world, or whatever you want to do? A few examples of investments people years ago could have made instead of buying frivolous, stupid stuff. 25 years ago, if someone had, instead of spending $5,000 on silly stuff they don't need, if they had bought Microsoft stock instead, that stock would have appreciated to $221,000 today, and that doesn't include dividends, which adds tens of thousands more dollars. So they would have easily had over $250,000 from that $5,000. But since they bought $5,000 worth of stuff they didn't need, today they have zero. Also, 22 years ago, in 1997, if someone that bought a $2,000 big screen TV, instead of buying that $2,000 TV, if they had put that into Amazon stock, they would now have over $2.1 million. So who do you think's better off? The person that bought that big screen $2,000 TV that's now worth zero, or the person that said, you know, I don't really need that big screen TV, I'll buy Amazon stock, and now they have $2.1 million. That's the person that has total freedom over their life, and they're traveling the world now, while the other guy's still working a job he hates. My third and final stock investing example is Berkshire Hathaway stock, the company headed by Warren Buffett. If someone 25 years ago, in April of 1994, if they felt the need to buy a $55,000 luxury car, today that car is worth zero, okay? But instead, if they had bought a $15,000 car instead and taken the extra $40,000 and bought Berkshire Hathaway stock with it, that Berkshire Hathaway stock today would be worth $814,000. Now, what would you rather have? You know, drive around in a $55,000 car. Yeah, that's comfortable, nice, maybe a smoother ride, but now you have nothing today. But instead, you bought a $15,000 car and now have $814,000 worth of Berkshire Hathaway stock. Also, that leads to a quote by Warren Buffett. He was once asked in an interview, why did you want to become rich? And he said, I was too independent to work for others. I wanted to do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it, and where I wanted to do it. He wanted freedom and choice over his life. He wanted complete control over his time. And that's the issue. you're never going to have complete control of your life if you're always chasing others, trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to impress others. I always tell people, do the Ray Charles test. And by that I mean, most of you know Ray Charles was a brilliant musician and singer, but he was blind since childhood. Now, if Ray Charles was standing in the middle of a lobby of a 5-star hotel, would he know the difference between that and standing in the lobby of a simple little hotel on the corner street? No, he wouldn't. Why? Because all that luxury on the walls, all the artwork, all that stuff is just visual. It's just pleasing to the eye to look at. But the whole point of bringing in Ray Charles is, it's like Ray Charles, if he's sitting having a conversation with two people, one person's wearing a $2,000 Armani suit, the other one is wearing t-shirt and jeans, but the one in t-shirt and jeans is the brilliant one. He's the smart one with lots of knowledge in his head. Ray Charles isn't going to know what they're wearing, but he's going to be impressed by that guy because that guy is having a very intelligent conversation with him, while the other guy is nothing but an empty suit, a dumb idiot. And that, that leads me to the point where some people, they think if you buy a very nice suit and jewelry and all that, that makes you intelligent and sophisticated, but it doesn't. Reading and studying makes you intelligent and sophisticated. And that brings me to jewelry. Jewelry is the most worthless investment on the planet. It's not even an investment. I mean, it's something to look at on your wrist or around your neck. What does it do for you? What productive thing does jewelry do for you? Instead of buying an expensive piece of jewelry, buy a little piece of farmland or something. Buy some property. Buy something or buy some stock in, Coca-Cola. That's going to be much better for you in the future than a thing of rocks around your wrist. Also, who's going to care? Ask yourself, who's going to care 10 years from now what you own today? Who's going to be impressed by what you had today? Nobody. So quit wasting your time. Don't feel pressure from others to live up to their standards. Live below your means, save and invest, or start a business, whatever. But you're going to be so much better off that way. And you have to ask yourself, what do you want to purchase with your money? Do you want to purchase stuff today, or do you want to purchase freedom and choice tomorrow? Also, it leads me to something like to say it's not what you make, but it's what you do with what you make. Someone that's making $50,000 a year today could be much better off 10 years, 20 years in the future than someone making 10 times that. Or even these NBA stars making millions of dollars, because if an NBA star is making $10 million a year, but he's spending $15 million a year, he's living beyond his means, and eventually he's going to go bust. Whereas the guy that's making 50 grand a year is saving $15,000 a year to put away, and he's living below his means, and eventually he's going to be set. A few examples of super successful people that have lived frugally. David Sheridan, he's a Canadian computer scientist who's worth $6 billion. He has founded and invested in technology companies, and he prefers to ride his bike instead of having a luxury car. If he does have to drive, he'll drive his old '86 VW or his old Honda. He also prefers to fly commercial flights over private, and he prefers t-shirt and jeans over designer clothing. Now, I'm not saying you have to live like a really cheap miser all your life. Once you've achieved a certain goal, you can let loose and you can enjoy. If you're worth $5 million and you want to spend 50 grand on a car, please go do it. Enjoy yourself. You only live once. But you can afford it. You can go ahead and buy that first class ticket. You don't have to fly economy. Buy the first class ticket to Paris if you want. You can afford it. You can enjoy it. If you had $5 million based on your own doing and not inheriting, then it shows you're very good with money, you're very responsible, and you can afford that. So you only live once. Go enjoy it. Enjoy the first class trip, because you're still actually living below your means at a net worth of $5 million. Now, here are things you should impress people with. Maybe you've completed a marathon for the first time. Post that. That's great. That's a great accomplishment. That's not something you can buy with money. That's intangible. That's impressive. That's great. That's a great accomplishment. Maybe you climbed a couple mountains here in Colorado. Go ahead and post that. That's a good accomplishment. Post a photo from the summit. Maybe you started a business. Maybe you're building a business on eBay or Amazon. You started selling just books, then you started getting into clothing, then that branched off to you designing your own clothing line. Maybe you started with t-shirts, and then you got into women's clothing, dresses, whatever. That's impressive. Go ahead and post that. Maybe invite them to come shop at your site. That's impressive. That's productive. You're building a future. Post, and someday, when you're living below your means and you're being responsible and you're investing or building a business, you'll be able to post surprise videos from places like Australia while you're scuba diving over the Great Barrier Reef or something like that. And then that brings me to my final topic, and that's the Kardashian family. The Kardashian family, they've got to be one of the most disgusting group of individuals this country's ever produced. They have hundreds of millions of followers around the world, following them on social media while they post stupid posts about their luxury lifestyle, over the top, oh, look at me, I bought my sister a brand new Bentley, or I bought my mom a Ferrari, or look at this $5,000 handbag I have. I mean, they're creating this atmosphere of people are trying to emulate their lifestyle and trying to live the most luxury lifestyle possible, but that's ruining these people's futures. They would be so much better off, and they would enjoy life so much better if they lived below their means, built up their nest egg, and then they could have the freedom to do whatever they wanted. They could go to, if they want Italian food, they could fly to Italy, but they're never going to achieve that because they're living beyond their means, trying to emulate that disgusting family, the Kardashians. They're the cesspool of this country. And if you see them on TV, please turn the channel. We just get rid of them. Anyway, so that's my take on, the bottom line is, who cares what people think about you? Don't try to impress them. Those are the people that will never achieve freedom because they're so superficial and materialistic. They have no brains, and so that's why you don't want to compete with them. You want them to compete with you someday when you did the responsible thing, and now you're traveling in Italy or Australia or whatever, and they're going to be wishing that they had done like you. They are going to be the ones full of regret. So anyways, have a great day.